Everybody says, history repeats itself. Does it really repeat itself? If so, why? To find the answer, we will need to look briefly at our recorded human history. There are no two identical historical events that could justify the phrase, history repeats itself. No two wars, revolutions, victories, conquests, civilizations, dominions, reigns, kingdoms, rulers, governments, or catastrophes are alike. Even the two world wars that were fought 20 years apart from each other and are only two of their kind, are full of differences and cannot be called history repeating itself. So why do we still say that history repeats itself? Well, because our whole world, in fact our entire cosmos, is full of repetition. Let's look around ourselves. Numbers from 0 to 9 repeat themselves over and over to create infinite numbers. There are only 26 alphabets in English language, but their meaningful repetition creates more than 1 million total words. This is more or less same for every other language in the world. There are only 12 music notes, but their repetition creates music. According to music experts, only a 10 notes melody is capable of producing over 75 billion melodies. Our body functions and organs operate in repetition. For example, our heart beats around 3 billion times in our lifetime. Every building that's built, or cloth that's woven, is a repetition of material or fibers in a pattern. The seasons, weather phenomenon, and night and day is also just a repetition of the same process. The movement of celestial bodies, whether sun, moon, earth or other planets, cosmic events and galaxies, is a systematic repetition. Time itself is the greatest example of repeating patterns. Everything, if we look closely enough, is just a systematic cyclic repetition of itself over and over, again and again, just like a cycle wheel or gears. Clouds bring us water, and the water evaporates and form clouds again. Rocks erode and form soil, then soil settles in sediments and form rocks again. Plants produce seeds, and seeds grow in plants to produce seeds again. Philosophically speaking, we come from soil, we go back to soil. So, when everything around us repeats itself so clearly in a cycle, well, then, why not history? Does history repeat itself? Yes, it does. It repeats itself so clearly we can't miss it. Here is why we say that history repeats itself. Every war that's been fought in history, or is being fought now, or will be fought in future, has surprisingly same reasons behind it: power, dominion, ambition, desire, lust, greed, wealth, territory, defense, safety, vengeance, succession, birthrights. Every revolution that's ever been started, or is being started, or will be started in future has same reasons behind it: dissatisfaction. Every regime that comes to power has same dreams: power, control, desire, service, ambition. Every regime that has ever failed, or is failing, or will ever fail in future has same reasons behind its failure: greed, weakness, corruption, loss of power and control. Nearly all events in history fall in the same cyclic category: ambition, desire for power, success or failure, rise to power, decline, and degeneration. Every civilization, whether ancient, medieval or modern, has passed through these cycles. Our current civilization is also doing the same. History repeats itself in a very unfunny way because all our ancestors, ancient literature, myths and folks keep telling us what happened to them and what will happen to us. All we do is laugh at them, then go fall down in the same hole. We like to think that history is a cold silent grave in the past, that has nothing to do with us gloriously modern humans. Then we suddenly stumble across things like wars, pandemics and unusual historical discoveries such as Göbekli Tepe and don't know what to do. The real question to consider is, knowing our history as we do, is there anything we are doing differently than our ancestors? No. We aren't. We are still fighting wars and unrests. Our governments are still subjecting common people to same problems as those in the past, only the problems have different names now. Peace is still evasive. Sovereignty is still the same as in past kingdoms, it is just dressed in different costume now. Slavery is still rampant, it is just a different guise now. Intentions and actions of every leader are still the same as those of bygone kings, they just use different words now. So, will the history repeat itself? It is repeating itself. How will it end? It won't. It will go on like this, just like the wheels of a cycle. It doesn't stop. What goes up comes down. What comes down goes up. History is just a cycle. When people fail to realize that history repeats itself, history has to repeat itself even if that wasn't its plan initially. But that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching.